Howdy, my name is Alex Blazo. Our group did a meal plan for authentic Spanish cuisine. Hannah will be presenting the introduction section. Then we'll have John do the ingredients. From there, Uxia will do the breakfast and dinner. Cameron will present lunch, and I'll present on the snack. And then we'll have comparison and conclusion with Nick.
Intro to diet and background. Spanish cuisine is known for its rich history and diverse regional influences. It has been shaped by many cultures over centuries, including Roman, Moorish, and most heavily Mediterranean traditions. Spain's geography of coastlines, mountains, and fertile farmland have influenced the way that this food is produced and prepared. Cooking and sharing meals are an important part of Spanish culture and social life. Today, Spanish cuisine is recognized worldwide for its bold flavors, traditional cooking methods, and regional diversity.
What are the ingredients commonly found in the Spanish diet? The Spanish live on a Mediterranean diet that includes staples such as bread, olive oil, pork, seafood, tomatoes, peppers, and wine. This, along with many other ingredients and flavors, goes into making Spanish cuisine such a unique culture in the landscape of our world.
Starting off with our breakfast option, we went with a simple pan con tomate and jamon serrano. This is a super simple, easy recipe. So all you'll need is a baguette or a loaf of bread, some tomatoes, jamon serrano, and olive oil. And you'll start by lightly toasting your bread and cutting it into slices. Then you'll grate the tomato into a paste and add olive oil to your puree. And then you can also add some spices here. I'll usually add like garlic powder or pepper for like extra flavor. And then lastly, you'll spread the paste over the bread and place the jamon serrano on the other slice. And there you have an authentic Spanish breakfast.
For our lunch meal plan, we have filet robozado con arroz y ensalada, which is essentially a fried fish with a side of rice and a side salad. So for ingredients, we have three separate things that we're making. So for the filet robozado, which is the fried and battered fish, you're just gonna have 1 to 2 thin fish fillets, which could be your fish of choice, 1 cup flour, 2 eggs, salt, black pepper, and olive oil. And for the rice, again, just 1 cup of your rice of choice, 2 cups of water and salt. And for the salad, it's pretty simple. We're using lettuce, 1 tomato, a half cucumber, 1/4 onion, olive oil, vinegar, and salt. And so the directions, the first thing we will be making is the rice. So you just boil 2 cups of water, and once that's boiling, you add your rice and salt to the water. Cook for about 15 to 18 minutes. Once that's fully cooked, you're going to set that aside for later. And then for our fish, you're going to season your fish fillets with salt and pepper. And then in one bowl, you're going to whisk together eggs. And then on a separate plate, you're going to add flour to it since we are frying the fish. So you will take the fish fillet, dip it in the flour, and then dip it in the egg wash. After that, you will fry the fish in olive oil until it's golden brown, normally 3 to 4 minutes per side. And then you will drain the excess oil and put the fish aside. The last thing we're going to do is just make our salad. And so we're just going to thinly slice onion, cucumber, along with the tomato and lettuce. And you're just going to drizzle the olive oil and vinegar and add salt and any other seasonings that you may want. And then you toss it all together, and then you can serve with all on a plate all together with a side of lime. And it's up to your choice.
All right, so for our snack, we're having patatas bravas. As you can see, it looks delicious here over my right shoulder. So two big things go into this. For making your salsa, you're going to need olive oil, onion, garlic, as well as some seasonings, tomato paste, and flour. A few steps here. The big first point is heating in medium heat your oil with onion and garlic. Then you'll move and you'll add some of your tomato paste, flour, as well as seasonings over low heat to simmer this. And then finish after you heat it in high heat. We'll blend it until smooth, and that will make most of the salsa brava, the sauce for this dish. Then for the potatoes, we're going to use russet potatoes as well as some more seasonings, and then you'll need canola oil or peanut oil for the frying part. Here, we're just going to cook the potatoes first in water and some vinegar until they're soft. Then from there, we'll put the oil that you chose in your saucepan. You're going to heat that up first, and then you're going to add the potatoes to the point where we're cooking them where they're golden brown. From there, you can serve this with aioli sauce. You'll put your salsa brava on top, and then format it however you want in the dish for serving.
And next up, we have our dinner, which we chose to be tortilla con chorizo. So you'll see the list of ingredients there on the slide, but I'm going to go ahead and go into the directions. To start off, you'll need to preheat the oven to 450 and then heat some canola oil in a pan over medium heat. Then you'll add the peppers, the onions first. And you'll cook those until tender, and that should take around 5 minutes. And then you can add that chorizo, the potatoes, the garlic, and the cilantro, and stir that carefully, allowing it to cook for another minute or so. And you can take this time to also add some salt, pepper seasoning. Then you need to whisk those 12 eggs and add that chorizo mix. Stir it gently to allow the bottom to cook, and then you'll pull back at the edges of the pan, allowing the egg to fill in the center, sort of like when you're making an omelet. Um, and then once the eggs are all set, but like it's still a little runny, you'll place the pan in the oven for 5 minutes and until the tortilla is slightly puffed and brown at the top. And then lastly, you'll cut into slices and serve. I promise it's absolutely delicious because that tortilla really absorbs the chorizo flavor. So,
Howdy, my name is Nick Basigalupo, and I will be going over the conclusion and comparison portion of our presentation. Spanish cuisine is simply more than food. It's a rich combination of history, culture, and something that the Spanish take pride in. The cornerstone of Spanish cuisine isn't, being flashy or having a lot of flair. It's taking a lot of ingredients that they use as a foundation for a lot of their food and just making those flavor profiles be brought to light. Let the ingredients speak for themselves in a way rather than succumb to new trends or fads. The food culture in Spain is really what holds the society together. It's something that they built years and years ago, and they still hold close to themselves to this day. It's something that they will continue with. And, like I said prior, the history, culture, and the pride that they take in it is what a lot of people in Spain use as their sense of identity. It's something that really unites all people under one front in their way of cooking and their cuisine style. Now, for the comparisons, Spain has a very unique identity in comparison to other cultures and other cuisines. A lot of times, Spain is often compared to Mexican cuisine just because the Spanish cuisine factor and the Spanish speaking of Mexico, but they're vastly different. In Spain, they're not using a lot of spices or trying to enhance the flavors of simple ingredients too much by using chilies or other factors to kind of get more spice to their flavor profile. In Mexico, this is very common. We see this in, them adding chilies to their beans, their salsas, their meats, anything like that. They're very spice heavy in their cuisine. Another comparison that Spain has in their cuisine is comparing or being compared to other European counterparts. Um, if we take France, for example, or places like Italy, we see that they have a very heavy use on cream, butter, other sauces you know, of that kind of variety. But Spain uses wheat, oil, simple foods, olives, letting things kind of just be bread and oil based rather than cream and butter based. And lastly, the most prominent comparison is Spain is very nomadic when it comes to their dining style. They do not just sit down and eat multiple courses at one place. They're not going to sit there and have a five-course meal. They move from restaurant to restaurant, location to location. They eat a little bit and they go on and they go on. So they're very nomadic. They're not staying in one place for a very, set dinner. They move, they grow, they keep going. And those are the conclusions and comparisons about the Spanish cuisine. Thank you so much.